Yo, welcome back to the channel. I'm super stoked to have you guys here today. This video is all about how to make a Chemex at home. You can do this by yourself. I am super freaking stoked about this video. I make these every day and I could not be more excited to share this with you. So without further ado, enjoy the video. Boom! What is up, guys? Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to go over how to make the perfect Chemex, or how I make the perfect Chemex. Alright, so a couple things you want to start out with is a scale. You want to start out with a ceramic cupping bowl. That's going to be for your grounds, weighing out the right amount. You want to have the proper filters. I use these square paper filters. And then obviously coffee, so whatever your favorite single origin is. I'm using some Dawson Taylor. The coffee you just saw was from Australia. Some awesome friends of mine brought that back for me. And then you obviously need a Chemex brewer. You'll need something to grind your coffee with. I use a hand grinder that I got off Amazon for about 80 bucks, which I will put the link in the description. And then a pour over kettle, preferably one with a long spout. It allows for a little more control when you're pouring. Alright, so this is the coffee I used today. It was a Misty Valley single origin Ethiopia Yirgacheffe from Dawson Taylor Roasters, a local roastery here in Boise. Super awesome place. First thing you want to do is get your scale. You're going to tear it out. And you're going to weigh out approximately 45 grams or 6.5 tablespoons of coffee. And that's what you can see I'm doing here. I get pretty specific with it. I'm very OCD, which is kind of funny. I pick the beans out one by one until it is exactly 45 grams. I noticed that the more precise you get, the better the brew tastes. So I try to go as precise as possible. Alrighty, so the next thing you're going to do, and this is kind of the time-consuming part, especially if you have a hand grinder, you're going to add the beans to the grinder. This is a awesome Java press conical burr grinder. The burrs are ceramic, which allows for a more consistent grind. I have it set on 17 clicks open, which is about a medium coarse grind. And you're going to grind that. It takes about 5 minutes. It's a really good workout in the morning, especially when you are trying to wake up and make a cup of coffee. The grind should feel about like some kosher salt. So not too fine, not too coarse. The next step is going to heat your water. You want it between 190 and 210 degrees. I like to have mine right at 200, so I boil it to 210, or right under boiling, and then I let it cool down to 200. That's about the perfect temperature to brew the Chemex brew. Next, you're going to preheat the brewer. This is super important. If you don't preheat the brewer, cold glass pulls the temperature out of the liquid as it is brewing, and you'll end up with a pretty cold cup of coffee. What you're going to do with the filters, you're going to take the multiple folds and put them towards the spout. That's super important. You want to have that reinforced area by the spout because that's where you'll be pouring. Here I am preheating the brewer. You're going to create an even seal. That's all I'm doing here. Not only does this create the even seal and it gets the brewer warmed up, we're getting rid of that paper taste that is in those paper filters. They're awesome, but they do have a nasty paper taste. And if you don't rinse that out, you can definitely taste it. So remember, never skip that step. Super important. And then you'll just dump the water out in the sink as soon as you're done. Alright, next step. This is where we start getting into the brew, so I'll be pretty specific on what I do here. You're going to zero out the scale. And then I have a built-in timer on this scale, which is awesome. It's a Hario company scale. Pretty inexpensive, about 40 bucks, and it's definitely invaluable. So you're going to zero that scale out. Then you're going to take your grounds and you're going to dump them straight in, evenly if possible. We're going to fix if they're not here in a second. And then this is where we start our first pour. So you're going to zero the scale out again. And then as soon as you start pouring, you're going to start the timer. And the first pour is going to be 150 grams of water. This part of the first pour is called the bloom. We're going to stir as soon as you're done to make sure that there are no dry clumps. So that's super important. We don't want any dry clumps. We want to saturate all the grounds. This first pour is really important to get some of that really good initial flavor profile out of the coffee. So I just stir it all up. Get rid of all those clumps. You can use an actual stir stick. I didn't have one today, so I just used a spoon. All right, the second pour at a total time of 45 seconds, which is right now. I started the second pour, and you're going to do a bit of a spiraling, squiggling, and then you're going to do a nice circular pour, nice and even, to fill up the volume of the brewer, and you're going to go until you get about 450 grams of water. Okay, and you're going to let the 450 grams of water brew to mix all the coffee and liquid back together until about the 1 minute and 45 second mark. Once the brew reaches a minute and 45 seconds, which is coming up here very shortly, you're going to do your final pour, which will be to fill up the brewer to the top, which will get us our 20 ounces of coffee. And that's going to be roughly 700 grams of water is going to be the total amount of water volume at the end. So you'll see I'm kind of doing a zigzag pour, and then I'll go back to the circular motion. Just to kind of reintroduce any dry grounds near the top that were straggling around, and to get that final mixture of coffee and liquid back together. This is the easiest part of the brew, and this is where we just let the magic happen. So you just kind of watch and wait and see, and you get to take pictures and Instagram and all that good stuff, and then just enjoy some music, have a little dance party while your coffee finishes up. All right, I always zero the scale out at the very end because I like to see exactly how much coffee I have. So I drain the last little bit of water out of the filter. That's just something I do. It's personal preference. And then go ahead and throw that filter in the sink. And now you have a beautifully made 20 ounces of Chemex single origin Ethiopian Yirgacheffe coffee. And then, this is a really important step, but always warm up your mugs or your serving devices for the coffee. Just like if you don't warm up the brewer, if you pour hot coffee into a cold glass, it's going to take that temperature away very quickly, and it not only affects the temperature, but it affects the taste of the coffee. And we really don't want to affect the taste of the coffee. We want that really good flavor profile that we're going for with the Chemex. So always remember to warm up that brewer. And then the last step, which is one of the most important, is to enjoy the coffee. So always better to have a friend to share it with. I was lucky enough to have my friend Jay Signs open up his home. He's got a beautiful kitchen, which is where we filmed this. And we shared 20 ounces of some of the most delicious coffee that you can make. The Chemex Brew. Takes about 15 minutes total time and a little bit of love, and you have the perfect cup of coffee. Yo, what is going on, guys? Thank you for watching this video. I am super excited to finally be sharing some of my coffee passion with you guys. This will be the first of many videos on how to brew coffee at home. I do it pretty much every day, and ever since I started brewing at home like 4 or 5 years ago, I've never looked back. all the equipment I used in the video. I will put the links on how you guys can buy that stuff through Amazon in the description of the video, so you guys can go ahead and purchase that for yourself if you want to copy what I did, which I would highly recommend doing. As soon as I started brewing coffee at home, I realized how much money I saved, how much better the coffee tasted, and how much more fun it was to experiment with different methods of brewing. So if you guys want to buy that stuff, check the description below to see how you can grab that equipment. Last thing I'll say is the thing. So subscribe, like, comment. Let me know what you guys think about this video. I know some people voted on this one versus an AeroPress. I think I'll do the AeroPress video next. So let me know in the comment section what I can do better, what you liked, and all that good stuff. And don't forget to subscribe and share the video if you please on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you can. Super excited about this journey so far. I'm learning a lot, and I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. So keep giving those thumbs up, keep commenting, giving feedback. It's super helpful, and I hope you all have a blessed day. Peace.